Hello and welcome back to another sketchy, inky, drawy morning with me, Kieron Seamons, and we are going to get into some fascinating and exciting drawing for you today. Although at this point I have no idea what we're going to draw, but it's going to be wild and funky, that's for sure. So, if you're in the mood to do some drawing, get your pen, get your paper, come and draw along with me, have a chat with me, and let's have some fun. You ready? Let's do it. Well, hello. So, here we are, back. And we're going to get into something, I don't know. That's part of the fun, I guess. The part of the fun is not knowing what we are going to draw and what pen we are going to draw with. There you go, that's today's weapon of choice. Not quite sure what nib that is, but what doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. I'm just going to top this up while we start. Should have done that before, I know, but we're going to start it off with topping up some Talons ink. Talons is the ink at the moment that I'm kind of enjoying because it seems a little bit wetter than the other chosen inks. It just seems to work out the right kind of fluidity at the moment. So there we are. The jam jar is topped up and we're going to get into something. Move a few of those pots out of the way. And it's always a nice pleasure starting off a drawing. It's always nice to just kind of throw down some lines and just see where they take you, you know. I do find that each time I start it gives me a different feeling. Sometimes I start off with a violent splash of ink, and sometimes I start off with a gentle trundle of the nib. And it just is whatever kind of, oh there you go, a dot. A dot that seems to give me an eye. And I do kind of just take it as it happens, whatever comes. And I do like that kind of gentle approach. Okay, so we've got some eyes going on there. And that rustling and digging sound is Mr. Miro underneath my desk, who kind of from time to time wants to redo his entire bed. It's like it's not comfortable enough, so he needs to move it around and jiggle it about, and that's what the noise, if you can hear that noise. Ooh, all right. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to save that because I do feel like there's some red coming in there. Red or orange? What is that? Orange? Am I gonna... Lovely. Ooh. Oh, I do like the way that's kind of bled into it there. That's giving it a lovely. Oh, that's nice. I do like that. And there we have some kind of strange orange-haired creature. I'm really tempted to do a small splash of red in there somewhere. I can get a nib that will, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a fiery feel to it. Let's just drop in some red there. Now I don't know if those lines of red will lovely. I don't know if they will settle or they will just bleed. They're beginning to bleed away now, but it will give a nice fiery edge to it. Lovely. And it's always nice to start with something kind of different, you know? And I do like that way that it's kind of exploded out that way. Right, so we've started with something. And we're back to the black. Did I just use that? I didn't use that brush. That's the one with the red on it, isn't it? Alright, so let's not do that. So, we've started off with this lovely kind of sad, worried expression on his face. And what we've got there is this lovely orange and red hair that's come up there, and I'm just going to suck a little bit of that out so that it doesn't run all the way down through my drawing in a minute. And that's got a very, very lovely feeling to it. It's still coming down. I don't know why it's running down like that, but maybe there's a slight bow in the paper. So we're back there with that expression, and the expression is wonderful. And I'm really going, I don't know why I'm dragging down, maybe it's ears or something, but I'm really enjoying the feeling of, okay, maybe it is ears, maybe it's, very explosive ears. Right, so we've got something going on there that's very, 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 very nice feeling about it. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I'm thinking maybe it's like some kind of hair or something. The way that the eyes have settled, and then the way that the that's nice. The way the ears have come down, they're explosive ears. I love that. It's really, 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 really exciting. I'm not quite sure where the idea of hair has jumped into my brain, but sometimes you just got to kind of go with that. And that's part of this pattern of my drawing. My drawing is really about just relaxing and letting your mind talk to you, letting your mind decide where you're going with this stuff. And it could be at this point we're not really sure where and what the rest of this body is going to be, so it could be anything at this point. And I'm trying to get a little bit of a I didn't really think it would be so worried, but he has kind of turned out quite worried, so I need to think about that. I need to think about what is happening here. Yeah, it's got this very kind of scruffy type of jawline here. I kind of like the way that's kind of coming across there. It gives him a very kind of rough, hairy feel, which is very, very pleasing. love that bright orange hair that's come across there as well, which is kind of suggesting that maybe just maybe I need to do some more colour on this one. Now, a lot of the times that I'm doing these kind of illustrations of kind of relaxed form are really just in a way I use them a lot to kind of train my mind, train my abilities. That you're kind of making the best of whatever happens. You know, that you're not kind of getting into too much of a planned situation, which can sometimes make things quite boring, really, you know. I remember there used to be a Hare on TV when I was a child, and it was called Hare, and he used to be this scary little creature that used to come on TV. Is there any of you remember Hare? And he had these wild buck teeth and yeah, this kind of wild kind of cackle. Yeah, he used to terrify me as a kid. Long time ago, in the 70s and the 80s, at some point. Yeah. Lovely. A lovely kind of approach there with that line coming down like that. Oh! I was enjoying that nib as well. Look at that. Broke it in half. Broke the whole end off it. Like some kind of spaceship now. Dear, 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 dear. I was enjoying that nib. Oh. I was really enjoying that one. That's the way it happens sometimes. Sometimes you're really kind of getting into something and then it just snaps in half. I can't see that mouth so clear anymore, so I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to darken it up. Just as it comes across there. I've done the whiskers now, and the whiskers are kind of making it difficult to see. There you go. That's come up a bit clearer now. Now he's got this. Trying to do some kind of I kind of seeing him quite straight, you know, quite kind of upright, chest out. And again, it kind of gives you that feeling of like one of those kind of old exercise things that they used to be on TV with those kind of men in their tight clothes doing some kind of exercises. you know, showing you how to do push-ups and stuff like that, you know. And I love the idea of him having this stretchy kind of spangle top, you know. Is it called spangle? What's it called? And I'm trying to get a nice difference here between the thin lines of the shirt and then the thick outer lines. To really help that shape the contours of his body a little bit. Yeah, quite like that. Lovely. Kind of a strange character, really. He looks very kind of worried and confident all in the same time. Worried and confident. And I imagine this this jumper to be like a very light blue or something, you know. I'll see if I've got a light blue somewhere. So I'm trying to draw some big kind of fluffy fingers here. Or toes, or whatever you call them. If it's a paw. Fluffy paw fingers. That's what we shall name them for this. I like the idea of him having these very, very big, fluffy toes or fingers, or whichever you want to call them. Nice and fluffy. Lots of bits of paper all sticking to the nib today. I'm not sure what's going on here. Am I pushing too much? Lovely. Very nice. I quite like that. And again, I'm in a habit of sketching at the moment, of kind of shading in, because I've been experimenting with the Worry Lips books, and since the theme of the book is slightly darker, I've also been trying to get in to do a little bit more shading in a little bit more darker areas of the drawing. So this sketching that I'm doing, this kind of shading in almost, is part of that kind of new habit almost. I'm going to just going to draw the other hand straight down as well, so it's kind of like standing to attention. And since it's the other side of the paw, I shall be drawing some kind of paw pads on this side. And it's quite coming up quite nice. I'm quite pleased with that. What do you feel? By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the drawing channel, please do. These are nice kind of relaxing situations of sitting and drawing, and just you can sit and draw while I'm sitting and drawing, and we just sketch out some thoughts, you know. It's a very relaxing, beautiful way. I love doing this. And I hope you enjoy this time. I'm going to do him a very large kind of bushy tail. And that's kind of on the other side of his shorts there. That's really come up quite nice, hasn't it? And again, I'm just going to shade in a little bit. Kind of show the darker, further away paw. What a very unusual character. Kind of looks like some, like I said, like one of those old exercise type of characters, you know, like. I'm really quite enjoying that. I'm quite enjoying that. Now I'm trying to see if it's dry enough for me to go in there and add a little bit of shading in there. Am I still wet? No. A little bit. Okay, well let's just try and get in there and put a little bit of a grey feeling to everything. I think I'm trying to see how I can kind of add up a little bit of texture to this. This kind of hair that I've drawn, trying to add a bit of texture in there to give it a little bit of life. I'm just getting in there to just draw a little bit of an outline there. And I think that's kind of helped kind of bring the character a little bit more, kind of giving that kind of grey tone to him has been quite helpful. And again, they're just quite cool. It's got a very lovely feeling about it. I'm just wondering there if I've got a nice soft, blue there. I could just touch up that that jersey there a little bit. If I've got a nice blue there that I can see that. And again, I'm quite tempted sometimes with these drawings to put. I do like to put down a very wet tone first. By sheer habit, you know, I do like to kind of wet up certain areas, and for me it adds a lot of softness to it. It stays away from everything being so hard on the colour, and it gives me this nice feeling of things. Okay, it's come through more green, hasn't it? Not what I really had in mind. Let's try and get rid of that. I was thinking a little bit more blue rather than a bluey green. There we are. Lovely. Very, very nice. And that blue has come up absolutely spot on now. And the blue there gives that nice kind of feeling that I was talking about, like that old kind of exercise teacher. And in my mind, they would have like a blue-white kind of jersey on. I'm not quite sure where that image comes from, but more like a kind of some kind of exercise teacher. But definitely comes up nice. I'm really pleased with that. And again, it's always nice to add that colour just to brighten things up a little bit. Lovely. Might even be able to get in. Slight touch of yellow in there for the teeth. Again, just using your finger just to keep that looseness there. Sometimes I don't like when things get painted too perfectly. I do kind of feel like sometimes it just takes a certain feeling, certain edge away from it. It's really come up quite nice, hasn't it? Very nice. And again, final colour down, maybe just following that on. Maybe I'll just use a little bit of that red just to finish off with these shorts down on the base there, just to kind of add a little bit of vibrancy to it. Lovely. Very, very nice. So there we have a lovely kind of feeling there from this kind of vibrant Mr. Hare, who's kind of getting in there and doing the exercises for everybody. Right, let's get in there and put my name on there and let's frame this boy up. So, I would love to know your comments. I'd love to know what you feel about today's drawing. I'm always very curious to see what people think about the drawing and how you feel about it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's always nice to get some new followers, new voices, new comments, you know. What do you feel about the drawing? What do you think about the video? Have you seen all my books? And of course, there is a PayPal account that if you do wish to support the channel, if you do wish to keep this channel alive, then you are very welcome to make a small donation just to keep this activity alive. And there's a lovely feeling there with that orange, and I'm just going to see if I can add a little bit more to it. Just add a bit extra life to it. And that will be bordered in once I do the that's lovely orange. I really, really love that orange. Do you like that orange? Like the vibrancy of that orange just seemed to really frame. Now I've got to be really careful with the framing on this, because I really don't want let's get a nice thin brush on this one today. I don't want it to I don't want it to kind of bleed into all that vibrant orange. I wanted to keep it quite fresh. So I've got to be very careful around this area here where I'm kind of going to be framing it, but I don't want it to bleed. And the bleed is very nice when you're controlling it, but when you're not, it can just get away from you. It can get far too like a hurricane or something, you know. It just goes wild. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And again, I'm just going to be very careful around that, so that things don't get out of hand. But there's a beautifully framed drawing of this kind of gym rabbit, the gym hare. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just going to darken around there just to make it kind of lovely, lovely, lovely. Again around there just to separate those lines. Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful. Very happy with today's drawing. Very happy with what we have achieved here with this character. The gym hare. I don't want to say bunny. Jim Bunny sounds a bit too kind of cutesy. He looks a little bit too serious. The gym hare. And that is him in all his beautiful colour. And I hope you have enjoyed today's drawing, and I hope you've enjoyed this environment. Just a nice relaxed sitting at home doing some drawing. You and me, just me and you, nobody else. Don't tell anybody else, just me and you. So if you had a great day, I would love to hear from it. What did you think about the drawing? What did you feel? Who is he? What's he doing? Tell me a story. I would love to get your comments. So thank you very much for being here. It has been a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you here. And I will see you back here again very, very, very soon. Bye-bye.